fight fans? It's Justin Perry MMA back with another video. On the topic of today's video, of course, it's another overrated or underrated video, and we're going over Dan Hooker. And with his recent announcement that he's going to be fighting Islam Makhachev in a short notice fight for October 30th after his recent win over Nasquete. Sorry if I butchered that name, but yeah, we all know his latest win. And he called out Islam Makhachev. They both signed it. They're scheduled for October 30th. So that fight is going to be a banger. And with that, a whole bunch of hype came over Dan Hooker. Everyone's proud of him for taking the Islam fight when everyone was ducking him. No one wanted to fight him. So for Dan Hooker to say, hey, I want that. I want to get back in title contention. I want that #1 contender spot, and to really just go after it and take arguably the dark horse of the division in Islam. It's very ballsy. It's very respectable. You have fighters like Sean O'Malley and everybody else in the division, Dustin Poirier. Everyone else is just saying he has tremendous heart for doing so. And yeah, so with all this new clout and this new he's been trending on Twitter. So with all this just basically this new fame and this little explosion of popularity that he's getting, I want to do a video because me and some of the guys were talking. And people were saying that he's very underrated. And honestly, I have to agree. I feel like after his loss to Michael Chandler, everybody writ him off as like some sort of bum. Like as if he didn't just go to war with Dustin Poirier. And as if he didn't lose to Chandler in a way that probably wouldn't happen 2 out of 3 times or 6 out of 10 times. You know what I'm saying? Like either way, the majority of the time, that fight with Chandler is not going that way. And he went to war with Dustin Poirier to the point where you could say either man won. And we saw what Dustin Poirier did to Conor McGregor twice. And people like to people hype up Conor, and I hype up Conor to be this amazing fighter. So that just goes to show what level that Dan Hooker is on right now. And just to get started with Dan Hooker, just to cover our bases. He has an MMA record of 21-10-0. He stands at 6 feet tall. He fights in the lightweight division, 155 pounds. He's a switch stance fighter, and he fights in the hardest division, the most stacked division, arguably, in the lightweight division. He trains at City Kickboxing with Israel Adesanya. He's a very creative striker and fighter. He's very tenacious in battle. It's weird. He's one of those fighters who, if you talk to him, you may not think he's wartime Spartan mode, but when he gets in the octagon and he has the gloves on and he's about to do what he does best, he goes to war, he goes to battle with the best of them. He's a fighter's fighter, he's a fan's fighter, and he's a top 5 guy in the hardest division. So that should show you what he's about, how what he's made, what type of cloth he's cut from. And he, like I said, he's a fan's fighter. And the fact that he's looking to beat Islam and take this #1 spot is really amazing. And he has an amazing body of work, whether it's wins or losses, regardless. He has a win over the top contender welterweight Gilbert Burns. He lost to Chandler and Dustin. Okay, cool. He lost to Barbosa. Okay, cool. Dustin Poirier, all-time great fighter. Chandler, all-time great fighter if you're going across promotions. Barbosa, an all-time great fighter. He's a legend. You know what I'm saying? Gilbert Burns, top contender. He smoked him. You know what I'm saying? Islam, the fight with Islam has yet to be decided, has yet to happen yet, but in my opinion, I hope Dan stops him via stoppage in the 3rd. I hope that's what happens. I think that's what's going to happen. Dan is a very long fighter. He's a very long and lanky fighter who's very accurate and creative with his strikes, like I was saying earlier. How he switches up between orthodox and southpaw, how he'll switch from up top to calf kicks to maybe an oblique kick to the body shot. It's very creative. It's very fun to watch, and he's always moving forward. He's not a crazy pressure fighter like someone like Kobe Covington is, so to speak. However, he's very he always stays in distance. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't take too many steps backwards. He moves very laterally. He doesn't go forward too much. He moves in angles, and it's very fun to watch. And I really do think that he's just a victim of recency bias in terms of everyone writing him off. And I think just looking at his body of work and who he trains with and what he's accomplished so far, like, dude is 30, 31 years old. That's still very young in MMA years, because fighters really don't hit their prime until they're 33, 35. So he still has a couple more fights before we can really either say, okay, this is what's happening, yes or no, before we can really stamp it. And like I said, he fights in the hardest division. He's a top 5 guy. So it really makes you wonder how he'd fare in 170 or 145. I think he could very well be champion, depending on how Dustin Poirier moves. If Dustin Poirier retires after becoming champ, or he goes into boxing, who knows what could happen, because I do think Dan Hooker could beat Justin Gaethje or Michael Chandler again if they fought again. Oliveira is a toss up because Oliveira is elite, but yeah, all in all, I do think that Dan Hooker is extremely underrated. He is underrated. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you guys think I'm right? Do you think he's overrated, underrated, or do you think he's just right where he's supposed to be? Comment down below, and I'll be sure to get to y'all. And once again, if you could subscribe to the channel to support, support some quality MMA content, that would be great. Once again, if you could subscribe and like the video, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one.